Good morning. Welcome into today's episode of Hoops Talk with Dave. I'm your host, Dave Smith. Thanks for joining me here on Tuesday, May the 20th, as we have reached the conference finals of the NBA playoffs. And let's take a quick look at how these four teams got here. So we have four teams left: Oklahoma City Thunder, Minnesota Timberwolves, Indiana Pacers, and the New York Knicks. Those are the four teams left. Let's look at how each one got there, starting with the Oklahoma City Thunder. They beat the Grizzlies 4-0 and then edged out the Nuggets 4-3 in Game 7. They won Game 7 dominantly, 125-97. The Minnesota Timberwolves, for them, the sixth seed in the Western Conference, they beat the Lakers 4-1, winning Game 5, 103-96, and they beat the Warriors 4-1. Of course, no Steph Curry in that series for the Warriors, but Minnesota still taking care of business. They've lost a total of 2 games through 2 rounds. They set up their conference final matchup against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Taking a peek at the Eastern Conference, starting with the New York Knicks. The Knicks started out winning the series over the Detroit Pistons 4-2, winning Game 6, 116-113. A lot of controversy in that Detroit series, but New York ends up on top in 6 games. Then round 2, they took out the Celtics in 6 games, winning that Game 6 in dominant fashion by 38 points, 119-81. And of course, we know the Celtics were dealing with all sorts of injuries, did not matter to New York. They took care of business, winning that one in 6 games. And finally, the Indiana Pacers are our last team in the conference finals. They beat Milwaukee 4-1 in round 1, and then beat the 1-seed Cleveland 4-1 in round number 2. So Indiana only lost 2 games through 2 rounds. Minnesota only lost 2 games through 2 rounds. New York has lost 4 games, and Oklahoma City has lost 3 games. So these teams, none of them have really lost a vast amount of games. These teams could obviously lose up to 6 games, but they've done a great job staying healthy, getting through these rounds, and now they set up these conference final matchups that should be a ton of fun. So that sets the scene for today, or should I say tonight, in the Western Conference Finals. The Oklahoma City Thunder hosting game number 1 as 7.5-point favorites over the Minnesota Timberwolves. Tip-off for this one, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, and I must say I'm so glad we have made it to the conference finals, because now we're just going to have one game a night, and I'm on the East Coast, and so I'm not staying up late for these 10 p.m., 10:30 p.m. tip-offs. I'm not making it to those. I love that we have the Western Conference Finals starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, a true blessing in disguise to have less basketball or one game a day. Gotta love all the basketball action we've had throughout the playoffs. A very fun NBA playoffs, but very excited. It's only one game. So once again, tonight, Timberwolves, Thunder, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. And that will wrap up today's episode of Hoops Talk with Dave. Welcome into the conference finals, everybody. The Eastern Conference Finals starting tomorrow between Indiana and New York in Madison Square Garden. I'll bring you a full preview of that starting tomorrow, as well as a recap of Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals tonight. Once again, I'm your host, Dave Smith. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Hoops Talk with Dave.